yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think one of the most important boundaries is the geographic boundary. And for us in healthcare to think about creating service lines that cross geography and that even span organizations is a very different way of thinking. We tend to think in terms of institutional service lines, and occasionally we'll look at it even within systems. So how organizations within systems that share ownership work together to create integrated kinds of products and services. But part of what we do in the future is begin to build service lines that cross geography, across states, and ultimately even across countries. That's such a profound difference from where we are today. We're 30 miles away. The cost, the outcomes, the quality, even whether you live or die can be entirely different. We see across single states sometimes 4 to 6-fold variances in quality. And we've all across the industry looked at, for example, the data from the Dartmouth Atlas of Healthcare. This is something we can do something about, but it's going to require us to build integrated lines of care that cross organizations, that cross systems ultimately, and in the long term, that make it irrelevant whether you are in rural Montana or metropolitan Miami or even international Mumbai, or maybe you're on a mountaintop. The question is, how do we get the best service anywhere available and integrate the expertise anywhere in the world? You know, the competitive boundary is the one that's probably the most limiting. I mean, we look around and we perceive everyone else as a competitor. Every organization who's different from us, who's across the street, who has a different ownership, who's for-profit, not-for-profit, aligned in some different way, and we assume that they are the enemy. And as long as we do that, I think we're going to be very limited in our ability to design novel solutions. What must happen as we go forward are these kind of broader evolutionary circles, if you will, where we build larger and larger integrated systems that cross those lines, and we create larger wholes, if you will, WHOLES, where we have a kind of integration that requires us to think beyond the institution. And so the competitive boundary is a huge one. And for us to think beyond the institutional interest, to see someone that we have for decades perceived as the enemy, as the opposition, is a huge leap for us.